So unless you've been living under a rock, you know what Breaking Bad is. It's widely considered as one of the greatest shows of all time and has also produced some of the greatest memes of all time. So I've been rewatching the series again, and while going through it, I was recommended this post by a viewer of mine who found it on the Breaking Bad subreddit by the Reddit user Oh So You Wanna Play Huh. All credit to this user for making this post. They also provided brief descriptions of what each item on this iceberg means attached to the image. If you don't know what an iceberg is, it's essentially been a hit new trend here on YouTube. The higher entries on the iceberg are pretty well known facts about the series, while the lower tier end of the iceberg is displayed as the most obscure aspects of the series, or even theories about Breaking Bad. Today I will be explaining it all. If you want to see more videos in which I analyze various things in our media, be sure to subscribe, because stuff like this is a little discouraging. I mean, come on, 91% of people who watch are not subscribed. Let's get that subscribe number up. Anyways, since I have no idea what else to upload this week, and I feel like talking about Breaking Bad, let us explain this iceberg. And warning, a lot of Breaking Bad spoilers ahead. Better Call Saul is the spin-off prequel to Breaking Bad, which follows the transformation of Jimmy McGill to the sleazy lawyer we all know and love. Honestly, it's a fantastic show that deserves way more love. The story so far is highly engaging, and I'm anxious to see what happens to my favorite characters who do not appear in Breaking Bad. As a side note, I love Lalo Salamanca. Seriously, I think Lalo may be worth binging the entire show in itself, because he's just that great. And in my opinion, potentially the most dangerous Salamanca out of all of them. It may be a slower paced show than Breaking Bad, and that may turn some people off, but if you really value characters, rather than action-packed plot lines, I would highly recommend it. It may be a slow burn, but it's also worth it. El Camino. El Camino was the 2019 movie created to commemorate the 10th anniversary of Breaking Bad, and it took place immediately following the last episode. And in my opinion, it was okay. Yeah, I might get hate for this, but it was really whatever. It wasn't astonishingly bad or anything, but definitely not one of Vince's best work. Do I believe it was really necessary? Not really. I feel as if Jesse escaping the compound and screaming in joy about his escape left the viewer to imagine what greater things Jesse had to look forward to. I didn't really need a follow-up to imagine what Jesse's future was going to be. However, it was pretty cool seeing Skinny Pete and Badger once again, so that's a plus. And also, although it was distracting, seeing Todd as fat was hilarious. Overall, I'd give it like a 6.5 out of 10. Breaking Bad action figures banned from Toys R Us. I actually didn't know about this one until now. According to Oh So You Wanna Play Huz's Reddit post, in 2014 a mom who was shopping at Toys R Us got really mad that Breaking Bad figures were being sold at Toys R Us because they weren't child friendly. She got so mad that she started a change.org petition that amassed over 9,000 signatures. Following the backlash, Toys R Us pulled the figures from their stores. Blue meth is rock candy. This one's fairly simple. The blue meth displayed in the show is actually hard blue rock candy. Yeah, I'm surprised they didn't use the actual substance as well. Who would have thought? Real life Walter White. This refers to the multiple reports of chemistry teachers who have actually gone as far to cook meth. In fact, one of the perpetrators was actually a man whose legal name was Walter White, and who in fact also cooked meth. He stacked up thousands of dollars per day. It all would have been eerily similar if it weren't for the fact that this dude lived in Alabama instead of New Mexico. Werner Heisenberg. Walt's alias Heisenberg comes from the German physicist Werner Heisenberg, who created the uncertainty principle, which was the position that the velocity of an object cannot both be measured exactly at the same time, even in theory. The more you know. To expand on this, in the show Better Call Saul, there's a character named Werner, who also ends up working for Gus and shares some similarities with Walter White. I can't say anymore without spoiling Better Call Saul. Just watch it. The writer's strike occurred from 2007 to 2008 and was the protest of the Writers Guild of America. This protest led to Breaking Bad's first season being shortened from 9 episodes to 7 episodes. Without this strike, Breaking Bad would have been drastically different, which I'll get to in a moment. Real Breaking Bad locations. Yes, a lot of locations seen in the show can be visited in real life. I plan on one day visiting all these locations in Albuquerque to celebrate my favorite show of all time. I may make it a vlog, so if you want to one day see that, be sure to subscribe. Speaking of which, did you know that owners of Walter White's house have had to build a fence around their home to prevent pizzas being thrown and pictures being taken right in front of the home? I wonder what it's like living in the White House.
Most people are respectful. It's the few idiots that come that think they're entitled to do whatever the hell they want. And it's not going to happen. If you're going to be a jerk, stay the hell away.
She is the sweetest lady in the world. And if you were getting on her nerves, you were doing something seriously wrong.
The pizza roof scene was taken in one take. Yep, one of the greatest scenes ever displayed was done in one take. Bryan Cranston had some mad skills. Check out this quick behind the scenes clip.
Scene starts, there's a couple cameras rolling. I have this pizza and I'm furious as Walt goes to his car and out of frustration he just heaves it.
What are the odds? 10 to 1, 1,000 to 1, 1,000,000 to 1, 1,000,000,000 to 1. He landed. He stuck it.
Bryan Cranston requested to wear the hat. The iconic pork pie hat that Walter White wears was not actually because the writers wanted him to, but because Bryan Cranston wanted to. Not because it looked badass, but because Cranston's head was cold while filming. Hey, when it's chilly, it's chilly. The Minisodes. There are multiple Breaking Bad shorts that are called Minisodes that you can find on YouTube. My favorite Breaking Bad Minisode is of Hank and Marie's wedding day, one of the unsung clips in the entire series.
Everybody goes through that. I was just like this when Skylar and I got married. Not exactly like that.
Jesse's teeth. One of Vince Gilligan's regrets in terms of the series is not making Jesse's teeth more realistic in terms of what a meth addict would have. In the show, Aaron Paul's white marbles were prominent. Oh well, this didn't really take me out of the show at all. I mean, it's the same universe in which this happens. Bro, who the hell can make a jump like that? Well, I guess only Lalo can. The pizza on the roof was not sliced. If you watch the scene back over again, you will notice that the pizza thrown is not cut into slices. This was done because it made it easier for the pizza to be thrown on the roof. The show writers played along with this idea of sliceless pizza later on in the show because there's actually a scene in which Badger goes on a rant about a sliceless pizza location. Excuse the quality of this clip, it was the only one I could find on YouTube.
Yo, what's up with the pie, man? It ain't cut.
Yeah, right. That's the gimmick.
What gimmick?
This place, they don't cut their pizza and they pass the savings on to you.
What savings? How much can it be to cut a damn pizza?
Maybe it's like democratic, bro, you know? Cut your own Christmas tree, cut your own pizza.
Yeah, it's democratic.
Breaking Bad is a Malcolm in the Middle prequel. Since Bryan Cranston played the father Hal on Malcolm in the Middle, fans have toyed with the idea that after Breaking Bad, Walt goes into witness protection and changes his name to Hal. Life really is unfair. Jesse was supposed to die in season 1. Before the writer's strike, Jesse was originally going to be killed off in episode 9 of Breaking Bad. Thankfully, he managed to stay on for the rest of the show, to deliver brilliant moments. Screw Skylar. This is a nod to how many fans absolutely despise Skylar White. However, I've recently seen a debate on whether or not Skylar hate is just, which I do wonder what you all think about that. The training videos. AMC has a lot of training videos that promote Better Call Saul that range from character to character, such as Gus Fring, Mike, and Kim Wexler. In fact, 2 of the web series have actually won Emmys. I imagine for the final season of Better Call Saul, they're going to use Goodman himself. Walt isn't actually dead. For years, there were theories that at the end of Breaking Bad, Walt didn't actually die. However, El Camino put those theories to rest by confirming that the gunshot wound was indeed fatal to him. The entire series is just Jesse dreaming in Mr. White's chemistry class. This theory is pretty funny. Essentially, Jesse is snoozing through Mr. White's chemistry class and that this entire crazy dream is a manifestation of Jesse's drug addictions and poor achievement at school. Now that would have been a crazy way to end the show, but personally I'm really glad they didn't do this. Breaking Bad and The Walking Dead are in the same universe. This has been another prominent fan theory. I'm not a big Walking Dead fan, but from what I can gather, The Walking Dead makes references to its AMC brother every now and then that suggests both shows are in the same world. Walt copies the people he's killed. This one's pretty fascinating and definitely done on purpose. Crazy 8, the first person Walt ever kills in the show, did not like the crust on his sandwiches. Later on, Walt goes on to cut the crust from his sandwiches in the show. Another example includes Mike, who liked ice in his drinks. Following Mike's death by Walt's hands, Walter proceeds to ask for ice in his drinks. SaveWalterWhite.com. This website was established by Walter Jr. in order to raise money for his dad's treatment. It's a real website. It's actually pretty interesting. I like how Walt Jr. chose Comic Sans to promote the website. Walter Jr. was going to be killed off. I'll delve more into this one later as it relates to another entry on this list. Gus Is Gay. This has also remained a prominent theory in the show, further emphasized by the likes of Lalo and Better Call Saul. It suggests that the co-founder of Los Pollos Hermanos, Max, was in a gay relationship with Gus, and that his murder at the hands of Hector sparked his long game of revenge. In fact, Gus's actor believed that the relationship between the two was to be a romantic one, while Vince Gilligan has stated that the two were probably lovers. Breaking Bad and Death Note similarities. Now, my apologies, but I do not know a lot about Death Note, so I'm going to read Oh So You Wanna Play Huz's Reddit post verbatim, if that's alright with you all, of course. All credit to him once again. Quote, "There are several striking similarities between Breaking Bad and the anime Death Note that fans of both shows have noticed. The main character is an overly prideful genius who commits a series of elaborate and heinous crimes for a noble cause, and over time becomes corrupt with power. The main character's name both rhymes with and can be described by the word bright, white, and light. The main character has an alter ego and commits their crimes under an alias which comes to carry a lot of prestige. The main character has a relative who is a member of law enforcement, who is leading a task force dedicated to catching his alter ego. The main character has a likable, smart-mouthed, comic relief sidekick who introduces him to his life of crime. The sidekick shows the main character the ropes at first, but very quickly becomes a student to the master. The sidekick suffers from addiction. The main character becomes partners with someone committing the same crimes as him, and he ends up only causing him trouble. The partner leads a double life as a friendly public figure, motivated to turn to a life of crime after the murder of a loved one. The partner seems harmless and nice at first, but is actually dangerous and psychotic. There's an episode where the main character fakes his memory loss in order to have an alibi. The relative, who is in law enforcement, dies because of actions of the main character. And finally, the main character dies because of a gunshot wound. 505-842-4205. The best quality vacuum phone number which appears in Breaking Bad, El Camino, and Better Call Saul. Essentially, if you call this number with the right code, it'll open up the repairman's actual line of business. I don't know why this is on the list because this number is explained fairly thoroughly within the plotline of the show. Vince Gilligan has a foot fetish. It's time to embrace some Quentin Tarantino and talk about Vince and his potential foot fetish according to this post. The only thing that backs up this theory is that at times in Better Call Saul, there are various scenes in which bare feet are displayed. Yes, I believe we need more scenes of Jimmy showing off his bare feet. Riverside, California. It was known as the original location in which Breaking Bad was going to take place. In fact, it used to be the meth capital of America. Furthermore, last October, the feds announced the biggest meth bust in US history in that area. I visited the area before actually, and I could see how Breaking Bad could have taken place there. There was a lot of desert. The location was changed to Albuquerque because of New Mexico's 25% tax rebate for film and television production. Finally, we have the Tuko torture episode, and let me just bring it back over to the creator of the Iceberg's post because I can't describe this any more horrifyingly than him. As stated before, Jesse was originally going to be killed off in episode 9. The concept for this episode that Vince Gilligan pitched never made it to the writing stage. Jesse was going to be horrifically killed by some drug dealer, presumably Tuko, and the drug deal gone wrong. Walter, racked with rage and guilt, seeks revenge. He kidnaps the drug dealer and ties him up in the crawl space under his house. He tortures him every day, cutting off his toes one by one and cauterizing the wounds with a blowtorch so he won't bleed out. However, Walter gives the drug dealer an out. He rigs a shotgun to a device with a tripwire. All the drug dealer has to do to end his suffering is to trip the wire and kill himself, but he never does it. Eventually, Walter Jr. finds him down there and tries to get him out. The drug dealer realizes that Walter Jr. is Heisenberg's son and triggers the tripwire, killing both Walter Jr. and himself. Jesus, how scary. At that point in the plot, I don't think Walt would have gone this far. Plus, for episode 9, it's a lot to take in for the viewer. I'm so glad Walter Jr. didn't have to go out that way. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to need to think about this alternative Breaking Bad series and fear now. Zeepstirred out.